Hi, I'm Mark Scherer. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life. I'm the host of the Encompassing Life Podcast. Today we have Chad Beauchamp on the line, and Chad has what's the name of your company? A Repair Sports Institute, and he's in Orange County in Southern California. I guess sort of mid California. And Chad, I've been chatting with him for a few minutes here, has a very unique approach on rehabilitation and healing the body. So, Chad, welcome to the show. I'd love for you to share what's going on with you and what's driving you to do what you're doing.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on today. We were chatting about earlier. My passion in sports medicine started from an early age, playing a lot of sports, having a lot of injuries, and getting exposure to working in the rehab field as a college athlete, and then going to USC, shadowing with a sports physical therapist and the USC football team, and then going off to work at the University of Cincinnati during my sports residency. I was really able to see the collaborative approach between practitioners come together and how that could truly benefit the athletes, patients, get back to doing what they love as efficiently as possible at a high level. And I really wanted to take those experiences and be able to build my own practice for the general public, and that was able to happen through repair, and started that in 2015. I've been doing it for 10 years, and we're continuing to kind of perfect the model and be able to serve as many people as we can in the Orange County community.
Gotcha. So, you've been doing this for about 10 years, and I imagine you've grown the size of your facility several times in that 10 years from what you're sharing with me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is this something you're looking to spread out with as well, or just keep to one location, or?
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I'm looking to expand. We're currently in the phase of transitioning where I have a solid team with me and manage really solid managers in the various departments that are needed. And so I'm finally able to transition my role more into working on the business versus in it. And I believe by the end of the first quarter of this year, we'll be able to stabilize everything that needs to be stabilized and in a really good position to expand into other clinics. And so ideally, hopefully by the end of this year or early next year, we'll be able to open up another facility. But that really does, depend on the team that I have here. It's really next to impossible, especially in the service industry, to be able to grow the way that we have and be able to expand to multiple locations unless you have really good systems and processes in place, but more importantly, having the right people on board that have similar passions and are willing to, come to work every day and hold themselves at a high regard and their team accountable to the tasks at hand in order to reach the goals that we have put in place.
I think I could tell your athletics training has bled over in your business as well. I mean,
Very much so.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
To be successful on the field, man, you gotta have the systems in place. You gotta count on your teammates, man.
Yeah.
What what's
Without it.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, without a doubt, like I think anyone that has played sports, they realize it doesn't necessarily matter how good you are unless you're on a track team or tennis, some individual sport. It really does require that everyone on your team is a cohesive unit that has a strong leader or leaders. But more importantly than anything else is everyone has to hold themselves accountable to the tasks that are expected of them in order for the whole to be successful.
Well, tell us how you work with when people come into your facility. Like, what's the typical onboarding process?
Yeah. So that is definitely something that separates us from a lot of other clinics in general, is that we're gonna bring in an individual. Most of the time it's through our physical therapy department, but our therapists are gonna do a head to toe evaluation. So if someone comes in with shoulder pain, we're not gonna just evaluate the shoulder. We're not going to just tell them that, oh, yeah, you have shoulder pain and here's some of the impairments. We're going to, one, specifically give them a diagnosis for what's going on in that shoulder and what's causing their symptoms. But we're also going to look more globally and let them understand and know why this shoulder pain and that diagnosis happened in the first place. So
Hmm.
what mechanically broke down in order to create this injury? And then we're going to go to the source of the problem and fix the source of the issue in order for the not only the injury to hopefully heal a bit more, but at the very least the pain and inflammation to come down at the local site of the injury, but then to have lasting results so it doesn't happen again or there's not as many flare-ups, and really trying to do everything we can from a conservative standpoint in order to prevent them from having a more invasive type procedure such as a surgery or an injection.
Yeah, I got into an accident a number of years ago where I ruptured a couple discs in my back and had a pretty significant shift in the way my backbone was aligned, and it kind of put a twist in there. And then I was using my shoulder to play racquetball and stuff. Well, then I had a shoulder injury, but really the shoulder injury was because my lower back was out of alignment and my shoulder didn't have the right movement. And one thing led to another, to another, to another, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got to do something here to get all this stuff, get back in alignment, get everything fixed, man. So
Mhm.
yeah, now I love how what you're talking about. Otherwise, you have like a cascade reaction and everything goes out.
Yeah, and a lot of people just chalk that up as aging, and it doesn't have to be.
No.
The aging is a factor in everyone's life, but in a lot of ways, we're able to get them to understand you don't have to be okay with these aging results. It doesn't have to be the long term of what you're going to experience. We have a lot of tools and methods in order to some extent reverse what they've been experiencing for a significant amount of time. And so we are part of our mission is really to make sure everyone understands and knows like you don't have to be okay with that. We're here to help you with your acute injury, if it is, or chronic, but also educate them to understand here's a program, here's a system in order to prevent these things from, flaring up or becoming more of a big deal, or ultimately, hopefully, preventing another injury.
Hmm. Awesome. So, how many practitioners do you have working with you now?
So we have six physical therapists, two acupuncturists, one chiro, one massage
Wow.
therapist, and a couple trainers. And then, of course, all the support staff. So we have a highly trained team of therapist assistants, of course, a front office team, a billing team. And so
Right.
it's pretty robust and it's grown a lot over the last couple of
You
years.
you have massage therapists in it as well.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So everybody's coordinated. Hey, here's what we're doing. So y'all all meet together and go, hey, here's what we're doing, and here's the best way to achieve the results.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I realized that was a common issue for people is that everyone is from a medical standpoint, and providers are separated and not communicating together. So, and a lot of people, especially in Orange County, will have their chiro or their acupuncturist or their massage therapist. No one works together. It's all kind of individually managed by the patient. And then when they're injured, they then need to go find a physical therapist and then continue to do all those other things potentially. Again, no one working together. And so part of our system is to eliminate that lack of communication, have it all under one roof. So there can be a collaborative approach, not only for the injury recovery, but also for their general life wellness. And so we often will refer into one of our wellness programs after they're done with the rehab for their injury and doing more of a maintenance program for just better overall health and wellness.
So I like it. So so people come in, are they doing like one-offs, or they do here's a 3 month commitment? How do you gear your
Yeah, it's
payment?
not, yeah, it's not necessarily, a 3 month commitment or something like that, but it's definitely not a one-off either. When they go through the evaluation, no matter what's going on with them, they're going to get some type of evaluation consult. And we as doctors are going to prescribe them a program and let them know, hey, here's your plan of care. This is the projected timeline for that. And then based on that, they're either going to use their insurance or they're going to buy different cash packages in order to cover the services that we prescribe to them.
Awesome. Cool. So, I know you're short on time. So what's the best way for people to reach you?
Best way to reach us is you can go to our website at repairsi.com. You can give the office call 714-377-4314. You can also text message us. We do completely deal with people via text message, set up appointments. Shortly, we'll have online scheduling, or you can even email us at info@repairsi.com. Last but not least, social media. We're out there on pretty much every platform at Repair Sports. And so a lot of different ways to see what we do, get a little insight on the actual clinic itself, get some good education out there, or even schedule an appointment from one of those platforms.
Awesome. And I end the podcast with a question. My question is, what do you love about life?
Man, a lot. I personally, I love the fact that I view challenges as an opportunity for learning and growth. And I have truly been able to ingrain that in my life that I enjoy the ride and not always waiting until I reach the peak or the goal that I've set for myself or the company in this case. And that can be challenging for someone that's very motivated and goal oriented. Often, and this was even me up until a couple years ago, that you're just constantly grinding, 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 blinders on to reach that
Hmm.
next goal. And you reach that next goal, and of course, you're goal oriented, so you're going to set another goal, and that
Hmm.
just becomes the kind of the rat wheel that you're always on. And when you can flip your mindset to enjoying the path and the process to those goals, then that just makes everything, in my opinion, a lot more enjoyable. And then when you also really love learning and are passionate about what you're doing in general, then you're able to view challenges as nothing more than an opportunity to learn something you didn't know or learn more about something you knew a little
Hmm.
bit about, and then take that and just consistently growing your personal self with hopefully you're able to personally benefit from, or whatever you're doing in life, you just keep getting better and better at it. So
Yeah.
to me, that's one of many things that I really appreciate, enjoy, and I'm very grateful for that mind set change over the last several years.
Yeah. You're you're dealing, we call it here, dealing, you're moving from going into a results-based life to an outcome-based life.
Yep.
And the difference between a results-based life is I have X amount of dollars in the bank. I have the red sports car with the blonde sitting next to me. To an outcome-based life is I love hearing my dad say he's really proud of me.
Yeah.
It's and so
Yeah.
it's a little those little emotional things in life that really become the drivers and I guess the inner peace associated with them.
Absolutely. I think when you can take a moment to kind of step back from the grind consistently, not once a month, not once a year, but consistently zooming out. And if you get really good at it, even while you're in it, and be able to take a moment and realize the gratitude that you can have for where you're at in life, the growth that you've made, even from the mistakes that you've made, that you have the awareness that you realize you made a mistake, take the accountability, and then charge forward. I think that is extremely helpful, and no matter what you're going through, and gratitude is a very powerful, strong, energy level, and it's something that I'm very appreciative that I've been able to get better and better at over the years.
Awesome. And um, I read an article and it said one of the something that's more powerful than love, the feeling of love and gratitude, is authenticity. And
Hmm.
dude, you're about as authentic as they come, dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. So thank you so much for being on the show. And I look forward to seeing where you grow with your business. And blessings to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate having me on.
Thanks, Chad.